The Alabama Farmers Federation and the Alabama Farmers Cooperative proudly present Simply Southern with Mary Wilson.
Hello and welcome to Simply Southern. I'm Mary Wilson. In nearly 6 seasons of producing this show, we've explored many interesting places and events, but it's the people who are always the most memorable. Back in Season 3, we visited Big Oak Ranch, where children from difficult circumstances are lifted up by special people who show them what family really means. You won't find a better illustration of perseverance than David Wright. See how this Dallas County farmer overcame the loss of a limb to build a successful business. Beating the odds is something Shelby Traylor does every day. Born with spina bifida, this courageous young lady has surpassed every medical prediction, actively helping out on her family's farm. But when we return, we'll see how 2 women on different sides of the state are using their skills in the kitchen to help those in need.
What sustains us? Food? Family? Faith? Alabama farmers live those things every day. They conserve our resources, clothe our families, and fill our tables. They cultivate jobs for our communities and values for our future. Farmers grow it all right here in Alabama.
There's no such thing as downtime when you own a farm. This is your land. You tend it and try to get the most from it, no matter the weather or time of day. It's been that way for generations. And for generations, your local quality co-op store has been there for you, with a full range of agriculture supplies and services, from feed to fertilizer, seed to grain storage, and the right hardware for any application. You'll always find what you need, plus friendly, knowledgeable advice at your local quality co-op store. There's one near you.
No matter who you are, you gotta eat. But many Alabamians face challenges that make even obtaining a hot meal a daily struggle. In Season 5, we met 2 restaurant proprietors from different corners of the state who are using their businesses to help others, whether they can pay them back or not.
At first glance, Drexell and Honeybees restaurant looks like any old meat and three, with a line of customers and a chef who knows how to serve up scrumptious Southern comfort food. But what makes this place unique is what you don't see. There's no cash register and no menu listing any prices.
A lot of people ask, well, can I give you the money? No, I don't care who it is. I don't care what's in their hand. It's donations only, and you need to go to the box.
That box she's referencing is in the front of the restaurant, and it's the only place patrons can pay for their meals.
You could be a millionaire and walk through that door, or you could be down on your luck, poor, whatever, homeless from somewhere, and I won't know what you put in there, and we really don't care. Because we want people to come in here that really need to come in here, and we need the people to come in here that don't need to come in here as far as finances.
Lisa opened the donation-only restaurant in March 2018 with the goal of feeding people's souls by making sure they have enough to eat.
You cannot look at a person and tell if they're hungry. You can't look at a person and tell when the last time they ate. Hunger is right now, today. It's not what you ate yesterday or the day before, it's right now. And people can go to work every day and make their living, but they can still fall short. They can come in here and get a meal, and nobody ever know it.
With expertly cooked meats and fresh vegetables, Drexell and Honeybees has quickly become a favorite dining spot for locals.
A donation for good food like this, you just won't find it anywhere else, you know? And she could be making a whole lot, but the grace and mercy that the Lord had blessed her to open a place like that, they even have a mind.
Miss Lisa is she's fair to everyone. She wants everyone to be cared for. She's a loving person.
I really believe this is her calling to serve the people. She's such an excellent cook, and she has such a heart for people. So we really, really enjoy coming.
On the opposite end of the state, Cynthia Shea Hart's popular restaurant, Shea's, also serves as a campus to train food industry workers.
We're about 21 months into the ministry work, and our outreach is to touch people, the underserved, underprivileged communities of Huntsville, Madison County, and then help them find jobs, lasting jobs that can make a financial difference in how they proceed through the future.
Cynthia's Serving Hope nonprofit recently started a new program called Hope in High School. The goal is for students to finish the 5-month program with a new set of skills that are in high demand in the food service industry.
I would like them to have a certain level of confidence when they leave here and go out to find another job someplace else. I think that's imperative.
It's not just about being caught in a minimum wage hole at the drive-thru at Wendy's. It's about opening their eyes and the opportunities that they really have ahead of us.
While nearly 300 miles separate these two restaurants, faith motivates both Cynthia and Lisa to work so hard for worthwhile causes.
My hope is to be able to share the love of Christ and let Christ change those people that will supply our industry.
That little thing called joy. If you do something that God has his hands on, he will give you that joy. And your worries are so far less if you can just grab that joy. And it's so simple to get it. Just help other people.
In 2020, Drexell and Honeybees celebrated 2 years in business, an incredible milestone for any restaurant, especially one that runs entirely on human kindness. If you're in the Bruton area, be sure and stop in for lunch. The food is worth every penny you drop in the box and more. And if you want to find out more information about Cynthia's Serving Hope program, the website is servinghopeinc.org. Speaking of hope, Dallas County farmer David Wright hung on to hope after a childhood accident took his arm. We'll have his inspiring story when Simply Southern continues.
Wear long pants, long sleeve shirts, and closed-toed shoes. Don't be ticked. Use repellents with 20% DEET on skin and 0.5% permethrin on gear and clothing. Don't be ticked. Avoid sitting on rotten logs or stumps. Don't be ticked. Protect yourself from serious tick-borne illnesses and seek timely treatment to prevent long-term problems. No hunters were angered in the making of this film.
Support healthy food from local farmers by purchasing a Farming Feeds Alabama license plate. The tag funds education and promotion efforts, including Ag in the Classroom, agricultural scholarships, and youth programs. Get your Ag tag today.
Soybean is a very versatile product. We make crayons out of it.
A lot of the combines you see rolling through the fields have a lot of plastic side panels that are made from a soy product.
The soybeans that we grow on our farm mostly goes into chicken feed.
Soybean production in Alabama employs over 10,000 people.
We grow some of the best soybeans in the world. We go the extra mile to make sure when our name is stamped on it, we know it's the best product we can produce.
Some of the best things in life start with a bundle. And some of them can actually save you money. Like when you bundle your auto and life insurance with Alpha. Protect what's important to you at a price you can afford.
All for a better life.
Alpha Insurance.
All for a better life.
Ask your local agent about Alpha's auto life discount.
If you've ever tried your hand at gardening, imagine trying to do everything with just one arm. Back in season 3, Kevin Worthington brought us the story of David Wright, who overcame a disabling childhood farming accident to single-handedly build a thriving greenhouse business.
Like the tender green plants that fill his nursery and greenhouse with color each spring, David Wright's childhood injury blossomed into a lifetime of learning, love, and leadership for the Dallas County farmer.
The date of the accident was November the 19th, 1966. Happened at about 9:10 a.m. in the morning. I just got back from squirrel hunting and went down to help my dad. Mom said he was shelling corn in the corn sheller that was pulled off the PTO shaft of the tractor. And so I was helping do that, and I stepped over the drive shaft with some sacks several times, and one time that sack got caught. And when it got caught, it took me around the drive shaft, throwed me out. I was sitting on the ground, and I remember my right arm laying over here by my left side.
In just a matter of seconds, David's life was changed forever. But he would soon discover untapped determination, creativity, and resourcefulness thanks to a new friend who visited him in the hospital.
He had one arm. He was missing a right arm from a hunting accident when he was 14 years old. And at that time, he was probably in his around 60 years old or so. And he showed me that life's not over. And if it wasn't for Mr. Pete Hutchinson, I would not be where I am today.
Even after his release from the hospital, Hutchinson continued to mentor David. As he matured, David realized he needed to prepare for a career that didn't include his dream of operating the family farm.
When I lost my arm, I said, you know, I might have to go get a job someday. So I better take school a little bit more serious.
David not only graduated from high school, he went on to attend Livingston University before transferring to Auburn, where he earned a degree in horticulture.
While I was there at Auburn, I met this young lady, and we happened to have the same birthday, the same day, the same year. And 2 years after graduation, we were married, and she came here, and we started working in the greenhouse.
I think that every decision or everything that happened to us is what makes the rest of our lives. And in his case, it's true. He would not have gone to Auburn. He would not have met me. We would not have met. And I felt like everybody's life is called by God. And in that way, I feel like that we were meant to be together.
David's dad built the first 16 by 32 foot greenhouse shortly after the accident as a rehabilitation activity for his son. Today, Wright's nursery and greenhouse includes almost 100,000 square feet of greenhouse space. David and his wife Martha, along with their son Davy and his wife Heather, sell an assortment of flowering plants to mostly independent garden centers from Greenville to the Tennessee line. But David's turned over much of the day-to-day operations of the greenhouses to Davy. He says his father has never let his injury get in the way of what he wanted to do, and is always giving back to his community.
We all had a starting point in life, and we all hit ups and downs. He hit his down when he was 14 by losing his arm, and lots of people in the community picked him up and encouraged him, and they kept him motivated to continue on and build and go to school. A lot of this would never have happened without that one accident happen.
David agrees. In fact, he considers his injury a blessing.
If the good Lord came back today and said, David, I believe I'll let you go through life again, but with two arms, I would say, thank you, Lord, but no thanks, because something might be different. I would like everyone to know that whatever the good Lord puts in front of you, that He will never put more than you can handle. And He put the one arm in front of me. And at 14, it didn't seem very good, but by 20 years old, I realized it was the best thing that ever happened.
For Simply Southern, I'm Kevin Worthington.
Along with David Wright's story, Season 3 was also when we took a tour of Big Oak Ranch, where children from bad circumstances learn the meaning of family.
A farmer has to live on faith. We do all we can do, but we can only control so much.
Alabama is the second largest poultry growing state in the nation, so we're trying our best to grow all the corn we can for that.
What we produce not only feeds and clothes all of the United States, but about half of what we make goes on to the world market.
We've been able to improve yields, have some things that can help us produce a better crop. I'm proud of the product we make. I'm proud that I can say I'm an Alabama farmer.
Farm Bureau Bank has built its entire existence around the lifestyle and needs of farmers and ranchers across America. We're here to help grow traditions, give back to agricultural communities, and offer financial convenience for your unique way of life. From sunup to sundown, we are committed to serving you.
I take pride in the product that we produce as a catfish farmer. Hi, I'm Willard Poe, and I'm the 2019 Alabama Catfish Farmer of the Year. When I go out to a restaurant and see people eating U.S. farm-raised catfish, that gives you a sense of pride and a sense of joy, knowing that you have produced a product that other people enjoy. Other people love to go out and eat.
Famed playwright George Bernard Shaw once wrote, "A happy family is but an earlier heaven." Many of us are blessed to know the truth of this, but others aren't so lucky. Many children grow up never knowing the benefit of a loving home. But for nearly 50 years, Big Oak Ranch has been working to change that.
It would be hard to find a better example of a model household than the Thomas family. Jay and Amy Thomas and their 7 girls do just about everything together. You'll see a lot of smiles and hear a lot of laughter around this spacious Springville home. A sign of success for one of the top children's missions in the state.
Big Oak is a home for children who have been abused, neglected. We set it up in kind of like a neighborhood, a community, and we believe in trying to restructure children's ideas of what family is and trying to break cycles of dysfunction.
While life at the 325-acre ranch has become routine for the Thomases' adopted daughters, it is often a dramatic change for new arrivals at the ranch.
That's the common misconception with the ranch and with our kids is we don't have bad kids. We have kids that come from really, really bad circumstances. I had a little girl wake up on her 13th birthday and her mom said, "Pack a bag, I'm gonna take you somewhere special." And so she jumped up, she packed a bag, and she's sitting there, she goes and sits in the car, and she's like, "Mom, I'm so excited. Where are we going? You've never taken me anywhere before." She's like, "You're gonna love it." And she pulls up to our front door, walks around, and says, "It's her birthday, I'm done with it, y'all can have her."
Some kids come very angry, so they don't really know what to think when they come into a family like this, and they definitely don't trust what they see until they've been here for a little while.
The children that arrive at the Big Oak Girls Ranch and its associate boys ranch near Gadsden are placed into one of several households designed to demonstrate a stable and secure family environment.
Each home operates as their own separate family unit. Mom and Dad cook dinner, you sit down, eat, practices, homework, school, just like your family does.
Most of them have never had 6 other siblings, much less girls, all girls. So, we assign them a chore and we just kind of let them jump in and just find their place in the home.
It's kind of spicy sometimes with a bunch of girls, it really is. But they learn, they learn who they're close to more than others, and it really does become as much like a family as we can make it.
Love, security, and trust, all building blocks for a healthy new home. Any good home needs a strong foundation, however, and here at Big Oak Ranch, that foundation is faith.
They're generally mad at God anyway because they're thinking if God loves them, how could they give them the life that they've been living? So it's very difficult at first, but we teach them that God gives every one of us a future and a hope and a plan, and that no matter what your past is, it does not have to dictate your future.
The foundation of Big Oak Ranch in a whole, Isaiah 61:3, so they'll be called oaks of righteousness, the planting of the Lord so that he may be glorified. And at the end of the day, that's who we are. We are seed sowers. And I tell people all the time that come to work for us that you might not always get to see the fruit, but know what you're doing is going to make an impact for the kingdom one day.
The happy faces in the Thomases' home are a small reflection of the countless lives that have been changed for the better on the ranch. Many who still return to the first place they could truly call home.
Kids come back and get married here. Their house parents are in their wedding. Their house dad is walking them down the aisle. We're all up there crying, and just to see that cycle break and to see a new hope and a new future, we want to be a part of that.
It's cool to see the ones come back that struggled, the ones that might have went down bad roads, and the ones that might have made some bad choices. But to see them come back to that foundation, to see them come back to that base, and to now see them come back with their children and say, "You know what, you didn't always think I was listening, but I heard every word that you said. I want you to meet my little girl. I want you to meet my little boy."
at the end of the day, that makes for a good day.
For Simply Southern, I'm Samantha Carpenter.
In addition to the Girls Ranch in Springville, Big Oak Ranch also runs a boys ranch in Gadsden. And true to the name, Big Oak Ranch now runs a cattle program where children learn the responsibility of caring for livestock. If they complete the 6-month program to reach Wrangler status, they can even earn a little money from the sale of their cattle, which can be applied to savings for their future. After the break, doctors warned Shelby Traylor's parents she might never walk. Up next, you'll meet this courageous young woman who splits time showing cattle and helping out on her family farm.
There's nothing quite like sitting down to a home-cooked meal with fresh vegetables from the garden. With Bonnie plants from your local quality co-op store, you can enjoy the freshest vegetables right from your own backyard. And no matter if you're a raised bed gardener, a rose gardener, or if you farm hundreds of acres, your quality co-op store has exactly what you need to get the most out of your plants. You'll always find what you need, plus friendly, knowledgeable advice at your local quality co-op store. There's one near you.
The versatile peanut, meat of the earth, friend of the soil, tasty, nutritious, packed with protein. And Alabama peanut farmers nourish some very special things: families, communities, and Alabama's economy. Peanuts. Good for you, good for Alabama.
For more Simply Southern, be sure to follow us on social media. And while you're online, visit our website, simplysouthern.tv.net. Simply Southern will continue in a moment.
We believe a plant should be more than a plant. This one is. It's all you need for your garden to succeed because it's a Bonnie plant. It represents hundreds of varieties of Bonnie's quality veggies and herbs. But more, it's from generations of Bonnie people who are passionate about sharing their love of gardening with you. Look for this little Bonnie plant and a whole family of plants like it in your garden center. Bonnie plants, so you'll know how to grow.
As you've seen from our last 3 stories, the human spirit is capable of amazing things. Our next story is no exception. Born with spina bifida, Shelby Traylor was never supposed to be able to walk, much less lead cattle around a show ring. But this tenacious young lady has been defying conventional wisdom her entire life.
It might seem unusual for someone with a serious medical condition to be leading around a 900-pound cow, but this is just what Shelby Traylor does for fun.
I have spina bifida. I was never supposed to walk. My back was open when I was born.
If her parents had listened to doctors, Shelby would never have even been born.
They wanted us to abort her, which was not in our vocabulary. I always said if it was one day or 1 week or 1 hour, 1 minute, whatever, that's what God had dealt me and that's what we were gonna do. They had told us that she'd be paralyzed from the waist down, not have any functions or be able to do anything. But we just continued to pray and got our family and friends and churches and everybody to pray with us, and we knew He was in control and He wouldn't give us anything we couldn't handle.
Despite further recommendations to end her pregnancy, Michelle carried her baby to term. It wasn't long after Shelby was born that she and Richie realized they had made the right decision.
By the time I did get to go see her that afternoon, they'd already had to roll up blankets and stick around her bed because she was kicking the glass.
They told us to get ready to go over to the Ronald McDonald house because we was probably going to be staying over there because Shelby's probably going to be in intensive care for a long time. And then we got to the Ronald McDonald house and was fixing to unpack her stuff, and they called and said, y'all come to the hospital. Shelby's doing so good. We need her room in intensive care, and we're going to put her in a regular room. And I think it was 8 days she was home, 7 or 8 days.
Yeah, they told us we'd be there a minimum of 30 days. And
she got to come home in 8 days.
Yeah.
Just 4 years later, Shelby was leading dairy calves around a show ring at the Alabama National Fair in Montgomery. and she and her younger sister Sarah have continued in each of the 14 years since. Shelby says the shows are fun, but there's a lot of work that goes into preparation.
You have to start working with them a couple months before the shows and work with them every day. Put them on a halter, lay them around, teach them how to set up and everything so that they're ready to go in the ring.
Working with her calves is in addition to her responsibilities on the family farm. With beef and dairy cattle, plus chickens, there's always plenty to do. Although she has more limitations than other family members, Shelby's parents say she's an important part of the operation.
She's always right in the middle of everything, from tagging, helping tag the calves, vaccinate the calves, everything from when they're born to when they're grown.
Yeah, there's a lot that she can do,
She keeps her daddy in line. She'll, on a rainy day, she'll be sitting here in the house, or we'll be in the house, and she'll come up with all these cows need to be weaned. All the pastures in the farm. These cows need to be weaned this day, and these cows need to be weaned this day, and these need to be vaccinated, and these need to be done this.
But whether it's daily chores on the farm or loading up and going to a cattle show, the Traylors say the best thing about their life is that they do as much as they can together as a family.
We are very seldom apart. Normally we do everything together. Work the cows, clean the house, trips, whatever.
And a lot of times they will be competing against each other, and it don't matter to them, who wins, because you got 3 shows, 3 different judges, so one day one might win, the next day the other might win. So
Sarah gets just as happy for Shelby and Shelby gets happy for Sarah, and they're not competitive. They're there to have a good time.
For Simply Southern, I'm Kevin Worthington.
Well, if you made it through this special edition of Simply Southern with a dry eye, you're made of tougher stuff than I am. If you enjoyed our look back at some of the wonderful people we've featured on Simply Southern, be sure to share it with your own. It's easy. You can subscribe to the Simply Southern TV YouTube channel, follow Simply Southern TV on Facebook, and read our blog, which is updated every Sunday morning at 6 o'clock. Just visit simplysouthern.tv.net. Thanks for joining us for this inspirational edition of Simply Southern. Don't forget to come back next week as we continue our theme of sharing stories about interesting people. Next time, you'll meet 4 folks who have all found pretty unique ways to make a living. I'm Mary Wilson, and I'll see you then.
Simply Southern is a production of the Alabama Farmers Cooperative and the Alabama Farmers Federation.